Hello, hi, welcome back, or welcome to my channel. My name is Tailgate Nate. You see it right below me. Welcome to another Ohio State fan reaction. You see it right up there at the top of my head. I'm an Ohio State fan. If you don't know, that's probably pretty obvious. Telling you signals there. But I do a reaction after every single Ohio State game. And as I'm recording this, it's 12:30 a.m. Anyways, I'm going to be uploading this video around noon o'clock Eastern Standard Time, somewhere around there. I'm going to schedule it to go out around that time. Don't worry, you're still going to get your review tomorrow, tomorrow night as usual. I don't feel like uploading this video at 1 in the morning my time, which is 2 Eastern, which I guess wouldn't be super bad for people on the Pacific Coast, or on the West Coast. But for the people on the East Coast, those of you asleep and those of you that aren't asleep, go to sleep. Well, it's probably noon now by watching Fish, so stay awake. Go out, do things, have fun, live your life. Don't let me tell you what to do. Anyways, that's just why. Video's going to be out tomorrow as I'm recording this. So, yeah, there you go. Still going to get your review, top 25, all that stuff. Let's talk about this game. Game number 7. 54-7 is your final score, as you see on screen. I implore Ohio State fans, especially Ohio State fans, and also people who still doubt Ohio State as a true contender. You still might have some reason to do so, but I'm gonna tell you this: go back, watch that Oregon game, and be really nitpicky when you're watching that Oregon game. Be super nitpicky, and you're gonna find a lot of things wrong with Ohio State in that game. And then come back. Watch highlights of what Ohio State has done against Rutgers, Maryland, and Indiana. Be really nitpicky again. You're still going to find some flaws and mistakes, but you're going to say, wow, this Ohio State team has improved tenfold, because they have. This is a completely different team. Ever since that Tulsa game, I know everyone says since Oregon, but really we didn't look the best against Tulsa either. Since the Tulsa game, we go and blow out Akron. Go and blow out Rutgers. We go and blow out Maryland. And now we go and blow out Indiana on the road. We blew out Rutgers on the road as well. But we held Indiana to do only 128 total yards. 80 of those passing on only 8 of 17. Indiana actually played 3 quarterbacks in this game. Jack Tuttle got hurt first drive of possession, which I will get back to. And then they ended up playing 2 other quarterbacks in this game as well. McCulley, which I knew we were going to see him in this game, at least sparingly in some facet. But then Gremmel came into play as well. And I actually had to look this guy up because I had no idea who he was. I knew who McCulley was because I had looked at it before this game that he might be getting some reps. And I looked and said, okay, Ohio State should have no problem defending him. And they didn't. Only 1 for 6. But the one pass he did complete was for 30 yards, was 11 carries and 9 yards as well. But again, Ohio State locked down the rushing attack too. 48 rushing yards on 37 attempts. That's an average of 1.3 yards per rush for Indiana. Fantastic performance from this Ohio State defense. I could be no happier. Offensively, or going back to the defense for a minute, I will say this. First drive of the game, so Indiana wins the toss, they defer. First drive of the game, Ohio State goes down and scores. It's a very good methodical drive, which is what I'd like to see. I'd like to see good methodical offense, and that is what Ohio State had that drive. Then the drive that Indiana had, we couldn't defend Peyton Hendershot, the tight end, which really good player. I'm taking no credit away from him at all. He had a lot of success on that drive, but that's the thing. He had a lot of success on that drive. We played a lot of zone in that first drive. Especially once we got down towards the goal line, we were being very conservative, and then Indiana scores. Now, that was also the drive that Jack Tuttle got hurt on, but before I saw that Jack Tuttle was hurt, I put my head in my hands and said, okay, so this is going to be a long night. Welcome back, the Ohio State of Oregon. No, ever since that drive, they shut Indiana down completely, and they didn't even need a turnover to do it. I think we had like 3 or 4 straight games with a pick six. Forget it. We did not need a turnover to hold Indiana to 7 points, 128 yards, only 10 first downs, and 5 of 14 on third down. along with 0 for 2 on fourth down conversions doesn't hurt either. Yeah, Ohio State's defense played well today. Again, just some little nitpicky things that you can get into, but overall, played well. Offense. This offense can score well. It seems like every time you glance over at the screen, Ohio State's scoring. You could get up. You could watch Ohio State score, get up, go use the restroom really quick, come back, and then Ohio State be scoring again. Because this offense moves fast and moves fast when they want to because they can score at will. They have the players to do it, and they're young. That's the thing. The only experienced part of this Ohio State offense is the wide receiver group. C.J. Stroud, of course, it's his first college year. 21 of 28, 266 yards and 4 touchdowns. Was 1 touchdown away from breaking a Big Ten. I'm pretty sure an NCAA record. It might have been a Big Ten record only. I'm not quite sure. I'm pretty sure it was only Big Ten, but it might have been nationally as well. He would have been the first quarterback in the Big Ten to have thrown for 5 touchdown passes in 3 straight games, and he missed it. So sad there for the record-wise, but I don't really think C.J. Stroud knew about it and or cared. Travion Henderson, 9 carries for 81 yards, 2 touchdowns. Mayan Williams, 8 carries, 60 yards, a touchdown. Evan Pryor got carries as well. 11 carries for 48 yards. Good workload for Evan Pryor in this game. Jackson Smith and Jigba was busy today, especially in the first half. 6 for 99. Garrett Wilson, 5 for 59. Marvin Harrison, 2 for 34. Emeka Egbuka, 2 for 29. Chris Olave was 2 for 24 with a touchdown. The other touchdown pass, Travion Henderson. But we got 2 touchdown passes. Notice I skipped one. We got 2 touchdown passes to Jeremy Ruckert. He went 5 catches, 47 yards, and 2 touchdowns. Very solid numbers for Jeremy Ruckert based on what he's done the rest of the season. I've always thought we needed to get him a little bit more involved. There you go. Otherwise, terrific performance from Ohio State here. But there's still some room for you to say, well, Ohio State doesn't belong in the top 4 yet because they haven't beat a team that is worthy of competing for a conference title, or that is worthy of being in the top 25. Now, the loss to Oregon, yes, but that we lost to a top 25 team. Fine with that. Indiana, they've been a disappointment. Rutgers, they've played good at times. Maryland also played good at times. Minnesota, well, hey, after today, they're 5-2. They're actually looking pretty good. Don't know if they're going to break the top 25 at season's end, but that's a pretty good team. Tulsa, well, they're rebounding nicely. Akron, well, is Akron. But read what's above my head. It's about to get real. These last 5 games are 5 teams that I think have a shot at making bowl games. Of course, Minnesota's making a bowl game. Oregon's making a bowl game. Tulsa, maybe. We'll see if Tulsa can get into a bowl game. Rutgers, Maryland, it's going to be close. Indiana, the way it's looking right now, probably not. Sitting at 2-5. But anyways, it's about to get real. Penn State next week. And if you haven't seen the threads for that game, please go look at pictures because the threads for that game are fantastic. We are wearing all scarlet, and I say we referencing to Ohio State. Notice, again, just what sports fans do. We, part of the team. Well, you're not on the roster. Shut up. I'm part of the team. We are wearing all scarlet threads. Scarlet top. I just threw my jersey back in my closet, but scarlet jersey, scarlet pants, scarlet socks, shoes, everything. Everything is scarlet except for the helmet, which will remain silver. Sorry, Ohio State fans. No special helmet for the alternate jersey this year against Penn State. Boo. No, I'm just kidding. The jerseys look really sick, and I'm really excited to see them on the field next week. I think it's going to look sick. It's going to be a scarlet out in the horseshoe. The game's going to be a lot of fun, but it doesn't look as big now because Penn State lost today. I'll get more into the game on Sunday when I do my review, but again, they lost today. It was going to be a playoff elimination game, and now it's just an elimination game for Ohio State. In fact, every game is an elimination game for Ohio State because they got that one loss, right? But the way they're playing now, I don't see a team that can beat Ohio State that's left on their schedule. Speaking of, let's go through it. Penn State. Sean Clifford does not look 100% healthy quite yet, and they looked okay against Illinois. They'll be favored in that game. We'll see what happens. Nebraska, on the road. You know, Nebraska's kind of a tough tough beast to figure out right now, because at times they've played really well, and they've played really well against really good teams. Go look, Michigan, Michigan State, Oklahoma. They play them really close. They definitely probably should have even beat Michigan State, possibly Michigan, Oklahoma, if they would have improved and done some other things this way and that way. Probably could have won that game there as well. But Nebraska's a tough beast, because then they go out 2 weeks ago against Minnesota and don't look at all like that. Weird. So if Nebraska looks like the team that played Michigan and Michigan State and Nebraska close, that could be an interesting, fun game to watch. Nervous for Ohio State fans, of course, but still could be an interesting game to watch there. But if Nebraska just looks flat, it's going to be a long day for the Cornhuskers in Lincoln. By the way, might go to that game. I'll let you guys know if I end up buying tickets and if I'll be at that game. So, anyways, who's next? Oh, yeah, Purdue. Purdue's up next. Purdue looked very flat today against Wisconsin. Again, I'll get more into it in my review on, well, I guess later today, because I'm posting this Sunday noon, right? Noon Eastern Standard Time. Forgot to mention that. But no. Purdue is a team that, again, hard to figure out. Ohio State fans, we know what happened last time we played Purdue, but this game is not in West Lafayette. It's in Columbus. I think we win that one. Michigan State up next. Michigan State is undefeated up to this point. I'm just sort of questioning Michigan State's depth a little bit, and if they're going to be able to score with Ohio State, or maybe even be able to defend Ohio State's offense, because Michigan State got a lot of good players. Naylor, Reed, Walker. The quarterback, Peyton Thorne, has played very well at times this year. The defense has been okay for Michigan State this year as well. It's actually been pretty darn good at times. But again, against this same Indiana team, Michigan State got punched in the mouth. So I think that game's going to be interesting to watch as well. See what happens there. And then, of course, the game against that team up north. You guys know who I'm talking about. The team that I'm not allowed to say. Okay, I'll say it. It's Michigan. Oh, sorry. Just kind of slipped. Sorry. The game against Michigan. Just threw up my own mouth. No, sorry. That's over. The game against Michigan is going to be very fun. And I think very interesting. On the road, in the big house, it's going to be very interesting. It's going to be a loud environment. Definitely the toughest environment C.J. Stroud has played in his collegiate career. It's going to be interesting to watch how Ohio State handles that environment, because Michigan is playing well this year. They still look a little one-dimensional on offense. I think their passing game, while it's gotten better since season's beginning, it definitely can improve a lot more from Michigan's standpoint. But good enough to beat Ohio State? Right now, I'm going to say probably no. And in fact, I don't know if anyone in the Big Ten, or that possibly is on Ohio State's remaining schedule up until the playoff, if we get that far, right, can beat us. When you look at the rest of the schedule, you got, I just mentioned it, Penn State, Nebraska, Purdue, Michigan State, Michigan. All of them have some problems that are going to be exploited by this Ohio State team, whether that's offensively, defensively, on special teams. Ohio State is now at the point where, yes, there are some things you can improve, and they're still young. Remember, they're still young, but there are still some really small things that they can improve. In fact, even a couple big things that they can improve over pursuing. A little bit of an issue in this game as well, as it just has been all year, but they've cut way back on it since the Oregon and Tulsa games. But hey, for this Buckeye team, again, anyone that we play on the schedule in the regular season, not including the Big Ten championship game, we can exploit. Now, for the one unknown, in the Big Ten championship game in Indianapolis, we have Iowa, who's probably still the front runner after Purdue lost today. Iowa has shown they don't have an offense. They showed that against Purdue. They don't have an offense that's capable of keeping with a team like Ohio State. Defensively, really good team. Offensively, lots of work still to do. And then again, coming out of the West, I just kicked my thing. Kicked my little stand. I have like a little setup table here. You guys know. You guys probably understand, right? All right. Anyways, Iowa, right? Just talked about them. Other teams coming out of the division. Minnesota, well, we've already played them, and they seem to have running back problems, getting hurt. But hey, with Minnesota, one running back gets hurt, another running back just steps right up in his place. So if Minnesota ends up coming out of the West, which I think is unlikely, we'll see. That could be interesting. Purdue, I think, definitely can still come out of the West, although they've made it harder on themselves. Wisconsin, yeah, probably still could as well. But again, there's some shininess there. I think Iowa definitely is still the clear front runner in the West. They're going to be favored in the rest of the games they play, although still some tricky games left. Wisconsin on the road next week. You got Nebraska left. Iowa's got a lot of tough games, so we'll see what happens with the Hawkeyes there. But for Ohio State, honestly, until we get into the college football playoff or the postseason, whatever the bowl game happens to be, I don't see a team left on Ohio State's schedule or possible in the Big Ten championship game that can beat them at the level that they're playing at right now. If Ohio State resorts back to the way they're playing against Oregon, well, I think anyone in the nation can beat that team because that team's filled with a lot of holes, a lot of gaps, a lot of problems. The team that we've seen on the field for the past 3 weeks looks incredible. And I think we're really going to find out how good this team is in the coming weeks and the coming month. This game against Penn State should be a good one to watch. We'll see if Ohio State takes an early lead and is blowing out Penn State. Yeah, this Ohio State team is not messing around. Michigan State, Michigan, going to be interesting games to watch there as well. So we'll see. We'll see what happens the rest of the season, but I'm feeling pretty confident right now. But again, I'm not going to start making a huge deal out of it. I've probably made a bigger deal than I've needed to in this video, but I'm not going to start making a huge deal out of anything until Ohio State wins this game against Penn State. If they win the game against Penn State. Again, if we lose another game, we're done. We're out. No playoff for us. Sad Buckeye fan noises, right? So we'll see, guys. We'll see what happens with Ohio State the rest of the way. I've gone a little bit over my time limit that I've wanted to spend on this video. And again, I don't edit these because I don't want to. So that is going to do it for me. I'm going to sign off here. It is currently 12:47 in the morning where I currently reside. I will be uploading this Ohio State fan reaction video at noon Eastern time, which again, when you're watching it now, my review is going to come out later tonight by the time you are seeing this, later this evening, whatever you want to say. And then of course, top 25 should be out a day or two after that. So as usual, remember to play hard, but tailgate harder. Go Buckeyes. Have a good rest of your day. Watch out for my review coming later tonight. Goodbye.